So, according to math, these might be the only 4 credit cards you ever need. Again. Hey folks, welcome back. And for our new viewers, welcome to the channel. My name is John of John's Finance Tips. I'm here to discuss everything as it relates to making, saving, or investing money. And when it comes to credit cards, it's one of the best ways, in my opinion, to save money with some sweet cash back. And over my decade-long experience in the credit card industry, I've had well over 50 credit cards, and today I have an active rotation that could range anywhere from 5 to about 10 or so cards. And admittedly, I could probably do a better job of cutting them down. In fact, if I really think about it, there's only a handful of cards I'm really using day to day, and then some cards that have edge cases. So in today's video, I decided to turn to some mathematics and stuff to find the only 4 credit cards that you will ever need, or at the very least, 4 credit cards you should definitely consider opening. And before anyone says, no, the evidence and source for my mathematics and stuff is not, trust me, bruh. No. The source is actually from the government, which I guess is as good as, trust me, bruh. Jokes aside, the source is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, specifically their Consumer Expenditure Survey, which they collected through the Census Bureau. Basically, they went around to a bunch of Americans, said knock knock, and then asked them to fill out a survey of what they think they spend in a year. So as long as we know what people are spending, then we could try to optimize that spend with credit cards. And that is how the video is gonna break down. So part 1, I'm gonna walk through roughly the methodology and the certain categories that we're going to try to optimize for. And in part 2 is where we're gonna discuss the only 4 credit cards you might ever need, again. And as with all videos, if you haven't already, pop that squat, tap the little thumb icon, and if you'd like to support the channel in any way, you can feel free to check out any of my affiliate links or top card offers in the description box below. Part 1, the methodology and what exactly we're trying to optimize our spend for. So pulling up the chart here from the Census Bureau, the first thing that sticks out to me is, wow, we spend a lot of money. The reason being, the average household here reports an income in 2021 of roughly $87,432. But the average expenditure for that household is $66,928. The crazier thing to me is the fact that the $87,000 of income is before taxes. So after taxes, you're cutting it thin. So the broad categories that I think can be put onto a credit card are travel, gas, rent, food, miscellaneous, and then the rest are just cash. In every credit card, I'm gonna talk about the sign-up bonus, the earnings, the benefits, the annual fee, and of course, my final verdict. Card number 1 is covering the gas category. And for gas, the overall annual spend is about 3.21% of a household budget. And so for that, I would look at the Citi Custom Cash. The Citi Custom Cash currently has a sign-up bonus of $200 after you spend $1,500 in the first 6 months. It will also come with 0% APR in the first 15 months. Next, let's talk earnings. This card's really simple. It will earn 5% cash back for your highest spend category every single month. And so if you only swipe the card on gas, you're gonna earn 5% cash back. The one thing to keep in mind is if you use this card for other categories, make sure that gas is still the highest. Otherwise, you might kick off into a different one. Now into benefits. There's not a whole ton on this card, but the one that sticks out is the fact that this card will earn Citi Thank You points. So even though it's a cashback card and you can redeem all of your earnings for straight cashback, if you were to pair this card with, say, a Citi Premier, which is kind of a mid-tier travel card, then what you can do is you can transfer your Citi Thank You points from your Citi Custom Cash to your Citi Premier, and then you can transfer to a flight partner or hotel partner, and you can get a lot more outsized value than just that straight cash back. Now onto annual fee. This card has a $0 annual fee, completely free. And finally, what's my verdict and recommendation for this card? This isn't a phenomenal card to optimize for the gas category. Now, you could make the argument that you can take this card and optimize for other categories. My other pro tip is if you wanted multiple of these cards, technically you can't just apply for multiple, but you can do a product change. So Citi has another card called the Citi Double Cash, and you can product change a double cash into a custom cash, and you might be able to get 2 custom cashes, and now you can have both of them for 5% on gas, but instead of the $500 limit every month, you have now a $1,000 limit every month. The next category of spend that we're going to try to capture is for rent. And the annual spend that I calculated was about 7%. And the card that I would recommend, and actually the only credit card that you can use to earn points for rent, is called the Bilt MasterCard. This card currently has a sign-up bonus of 0. However, you can check out a video I did up here where there actually kind of is a sign-up bonus, but it's not really public and it's not really official. It just seems that a lot of people are getting it offered. And what that is it allows you to earn 5x on all of your spend within the first 5 days of having the card. Now, I have no idea whether or not someone is going to get it. Most of the reports that I've seen online, as well as from friends and family, is that they were given the offer for the sign-up bonus once they got the actual card. So you can't count on it, but it is a nice surprise if you are able to get it. This card will earn 3 points per dollar spent on dining, 2 points per dollar spent on travel, 1 point per dollar spent everywhere else, and 1 point per dollar spent on rent. The rent benefit works in 2 ways. One, if your apartment, let's say, is part of one of the big apartment complexes in the country, like Avalon or something, it might already be part of the Bilt Alliance, in which case, use a Bilt card, you're not gonna get charged the processing fee, you're good to go. However, if say your landlord is like, I don't take credit cards, or if you use a credit card, I'm gonna charge you a processing fee, that's totally fine, because Bilt can actually cut a check to your landlord on your behalf, and you will still earn points. And the crazy thing about rent is, sadly, it's going nowhere but that away. I just saw an article published recently that rent prices in New York were around $5,000 on average. That's absolutely insane. And the more insane part is if those people aren't getting points for it. So now let's talk about the benefits. The first benefit that's gonna stick out about this card is the fact that it offers you transfer partners. What that means is you can take the Bilt points that you earn and transfer them to some airlines or hotel partners and redeem for crazy outsized value. 2 that I wanna call out for you are American Airlines as well as Hyatt. These 2 are some of the most valuable partners in the travel space because they offer incredible outsized value. I won't get into the nitty gritty in this particular video. I have a review video of the Bilt card I can leave for you up here, but just understand that this doesn't often come with credit cards at this tier, and we'll get to the tier in just a second. The card will also allow you to redeem your points for a 25% bonus if you were to just redeem through their regular travel portal. So let's say if you had $100 worth of points, you could actually redeem it for travel for up to $125. And the third benefit I'll call out is this thing called Bilt Protect. This concept is really, really cool. So let's say you get the card and you get a $5,000 credit limit, but you bought a bunch of stuff and you already spent like $3,000 on the card. And then suddenly rent comes up and your rent is $3,000. Well, if you already spent $3,000, there's no way you could charge another $3,000 because your card's gonna get declined. What Bilt Protect does is it links to your checking account. And so it basically says, hey, you know what? We see that John's got the money in the checking account. They pull money from the checking account and pay rent directly without hitting your credit limit. And finally, we have the annual fee. This card comes in at a whopping annual fee of $0, 100% free. And that's why earlier I said having the transfer partners along with this annual fee is crazy, because most credit cards, in fact, all credit cards that I can think of that have a transfer partner come with an annual fee, because that is a very coveted feature and benefit. So my final verdict for everybody is that if you pay rent, you should get this card. If you are looking for a no annual fee premium travel card, you should get this card. If you pay rent and you're looking for a no annual fee premium travel card, you should absolutely jump on this card. Third category we have is spending on food. And that accounts for about a spend of 12.39%. I did want to call out that this is food for grocery as well as dining out. And the credit card that I will look to capture that spend is none other than the American Express Gold. This card has a sign-up bonus that ranges anywhere from 60 to 75,000 points after you spend $4,000 within the first 6 months. This card will allow you to earn 4x on grocery for up to 25K of spend in a year, and 4x for dining out, as well as 3x for airfare that you book either direct with an airline or through Amex Travel, and 1x everywhere else. This card will earn what I colloquially call $240 of eating credits. 120 of those credits are gonna come from redeeming them through something like a Grubhub or a Shake Shack or a Cheesecake Factory, and another $120 comes from either using Uber or Uber Eats. And keep in mind, they are monthly credits. This card also offers you transfer partners. Unlike the Bilt card though, it is gonna have an annual fee, and we'll get to that in a second. But the way I like to use my American Express transfer partners are transfer them either to ANA or transferring to British Airways. And the third benefit I wanna highlight on this card is purchase protection, specifically for items that are lost. If it's within 90 days and the claim is less than $10,000, you just file it with American Express, and you can file a maximum of $50,000 in a claim per year. So finally, let's talk about this annual fee. Well, the American Express Gold does have an annual fee, and it comes in at a whopping $250. Compare that to the Bilt, which was $0, and it also had transfer partners. However, folks, this is John's Finance Tips. Of course, we're not paying sticker price. Remember the $204 of dining credits? Well, effectively then, you pay $250 annual fee, you use $240 of dining credits, $10. You're effectively only paying $10 a year for the card. I would 100% jump on it just for that value alone. But of course, this card is capturing both your grocery as well as your dining out spend, cumulatively your food spend. In the last category we have, accounting for a spend of 13.92% of an overall budget, is miscellaneous. These are the things that I was like, you know, yes, I think if you thought hard enough, you could probably pick a card and really parse out these subcategories. But for the most part, if we're trying to keep things simple, I clump them into miscellaneous. So things like for pet supplies or personal care, all of that I kind of just lumped together, and that's how we got to it. Now, of course, if you want to comment down below and let me know, hey, you know what, I actually might parse this out and that out, sure. And if we can keep it within 4 cards, I'd love to hear that as well. So the card that we're gonna use for this category is gonna be none other than my #1 premium travel card of 2023, the Capital One Venture X. This card will come with a sign-up bonus of 75,000 points after you spend $4,000 within the first 3 months. This card will earn 10 points per hour spent if you book hotel or car rental through the Capital One travel portal, 5 points per hour spent if you book flights through the Capital One travel portal, and 2 points per hour spent everywhere. And that really is the focus of this section, for miscellaneous spend having a 2x catch-all card across the board. Benefits for this card. This card will come with a $300 travel credit as long as you book travel through the Capital One travel portal. It will also have a $100 anniversary credit just for having the card every single year. And the cool thing about that is that the $100 anniversary credit comes in the form of 10,000 points/miles. And that can be stacked. So you don't actually have to use it year on year. You can just save it. The $300 travel credit has to be used every single year. The card offers you access to Priority Pass lounges, which are airport lounges around the world, in addition to Plaza Premium lounges and Capital One's very own lounge in Dallas, Fort Worth. And if you've never been to a lounge, trust me folks, it completely elevates and changes the travel game, because now you've got a place to relax before the flight. What I really like about lounges is, especially in foreign airports, there's free Wi-Fi, in addition to the free food, free booze, and all the other amenities. And what's especially cool about the Priority Pass that you receive from the Capital One, which is the lounge access card, is the fact that technically, there's no guest limit. Now, the lounges can limit you, but the Priority Pass itself from the Capital One Priority Pass membership does not limit you. And with the Capital One Venture X, you can add a free authorized user. So let's say there is a limit. Well, you know what then? You add an authorized user, they get Priority Pass, they can bring in your guests, you have Priority Pass, you bring in your guests, and so on. And it goes without saying that this card is also gonna give you credit to Global Entry, which is expedited entry back into the US, which includes TSA PreCheck, which is kind of like the VIP section. When you're going through security, you can keep your belt on, you can keep your laptop in the bag. It's phenomenal. And lastly, to round it all out, of course, this card allows you to transfer the points you earned here to its travel partners. In fact, that's exactly how I'm traveling to the Philippines next year. I transferred about 68,000 points from the Capital One over to Turkish Airways, and I booked a business class flight, which would have cost about $3,000 or $4,000 out of pocket. And so with all of those benefits, you're probably thinking there's gonna be a huge cost associated. And you're kind of right, $395 is the annual fee. However, keep in mind, you had a $300 travel credit and a $100 anniversary credit. That's $400 worth of total travel credits. So you're paying $395, but you get $400 of credits back. Yeah, folks, this card effectively pays you to have it. $5 in your pocket. You come out net positive $5. And if we really think about it, across the entire portfolio of 4 credit cards, Citi Custom Cash is free, Bilt MasterCard is free, Amex Gold is effectively $10, and this card effectively puts $5 in your pocket. You're paying $5 for these 4 cards? Come on now. So, verdict for the Capital One Venture X is the fact that, hey, listen, if you're a casual traveler, you should definitely jump on this card. If you spend $400 a year traveling, you should 100% jump on this card. And again, this is a card that I would use as a 2x catch-all for all of the miscellaneous categories. And I think that does it for today's video. Folks, let me know what you think. This is something new that I'm taking a look at in terms of how we're optimizing for spend, but based on maybe what people are actually spending on. Let me know what categories that you might have added or taken out, or what other cards that you want to throw into the mix. So as always, folks, if you'd like to support my channel, you can feel free to check out the affiliate links down below for some of my top card offers, and any comments or questions down below, and I'll catch y'all next video. Peace!